Hello, what up guys, how you doing? It is Lasty here. Welcome to a new episode of the FIFA 21 Ultimate Team Road to Glory. Episode number 38. It's Monday morning, or Monday lunchtime I should say. I hope you guys are all doing well and good luck to you for the start of this week. Make it a successful one. Work hard, play hard, all of that good stuff. Now, guys, I uploaded twice yesterday, so every Monday I like to make sure I let you know that you can click in the top corner and check out the two videos from yesterday if you missed them. They're sitting a little less on views than normal, so a bunch of you have missed them, so check them out when you get a moment and then come back to this one. And when you do, hit me with a thumbs up. 5,000 likes is our total target. I'm sure you guys can hit that, and I very, very, very much appreciate your support. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. So we're going to do two things in this episode. One, we're going to do this little SBC, which is called Trick or Treat. Now, it was a little group SBC, like a group puzzle thing, with two SBCs to complete, which really weren't too difficult. And if you had lots of silvers in your club, you could have used them. I used mainly gold simply because I actually think they're worth less than the silvers, and I didn't have a huge amount in my club to work with. So, yeah, we've just gone with the golds because, I mean, it was just so easy for me to stick them into an SBC and complete it. And you get 2 packs, and then for completing the whole thing, you get a mega pack. Real nice. Kind of standard, but, you know, all of it is untradeable, I believe, which, you know my thoughts on that. I said it many times. But from the first pack, we are going to get no boards, no walkouts. All right, okay, maybe that's coming later on in the week, you know, our next walkout, or maybe a special item. Be really cool to pack a rule breaker, wouldn't it? But that hasn't happened yet. We do get Lucas Hernandez, so we've got a first owner version of him now, which is good. I could sell the blue one if I wanted, but he's not really that many coins, is he? So, yeah, I guess we'll just kind of keep using our blue one, because I like the blue cards on the game. Second pack, we're going to get no boards, no walkout. This time, the rare is going to be a lot lower rated, though. It's a 75 rated centre-back. Now, I think because it's untradeable, there can be higher rated stuff there, as you can see. Whole bunch of non-rare golds, which will be useful for marquee matchups and other SBCs, I'm sure. But I was surprised to not get boards from the Mega Pack. I mean, albeit the Libertadores popped up, so there could be anything in here alongside it. But even once we got into the pack, the highest rated was, I think, 82. And then, oh, 282s. So yeah, I mean, wow, that SBC wasn't particularly profitable for me anyway. It wasn't particularly amazing, but you got to do these things. You got to risk these things. And the second thing we're going to do is obviously go on into champs, because it got to Sunday afternoon and I just had a lovely roast dinner with the fam, and then I realized, oh wait, I'm still 9-3. And there's no extension on the weekend league this week. I need to get in game and I need to start playing. I need to get 5 wins. I need to push up towards Gold 3 OP, because that is where we said we will stop this week to see just how OP it actually is. So in game number 1, I find myself 2-1 down at half-time in a game that I genuinely thought I was bossing. So I made a couple of silly errors which let him score. However, we get into the box with Ansu Fati in the 60th minute, and we are able to get an equalizer. So we're back in the game. Are we going to end up winning our first game of the day or losing it, though? Well, we've turned the game around. Ousmane Dembele actually showing a lot of good strength and stuff. But, I mean, look what happens here. This is the 78th minute. I end up conceding. Martial, I think, might be my new nemesis, my kryptonite. I always struggle against him. And then just poor defending. I don't know how I let that player slip through. I just couldn't catch him. And I end up losing the game. So I flipped the game around, and I was winning 3-2 with not too long to go. And then my opponent hit me with the what does Spencer call it? The misery compiler. Yeah, he hit me with 2 goals back to back, and I lost the game. First game of the day, I end up losing, and I genuinely thought I should have won it. So I was hoping that wasn't going to be like the story of the day. I was hoping it could maybe go a little bit better than that. Anyway, we go into the next one. Ousmane Dembele turns him. I knock it into Frankie de Jong. I'm really not confident shooting with the Dutchman, but in that situation, what else could I do? Fortunately, it does go into the back of the net, so we're golden. And then my opponent's Eden Hazard does manage to get past my defence and score the goal, even though I rushed the goalkeeper at him. But Iñaki Williams, look at this, just wins that ball back from, I think, Diego Carlos. And of course, we're going to absolutely blast that into the back of the net, restore our lead, and we are 2-1 up at half-time. Game is going... I mean, it's a weird game. Like, he's had way more possession. I've created more chances. But hopefully we can come away with a win here so that I don't just lose loads in a row. And that means I would be in a really bad mood. I mean, fortunately for me, Ansu Fati scores that absolute worldie. Like, so much power on it. And then at the end of the game, or should I say the 60th minute, we end up getting a 4-1 lead. I forgot that this game was the one which I think I actually win like 8-1 here. And I'm pretty sure it was against a viewer. So GG's to you, bro. We had a little message back and forth after the game. But yeah, I mean, had I known it was a viewer, I don't think I would have taken it to 8-1. But yeah, I mean, look at this for a goal. It's just beautiful. I don't know. I found my way through his defense a few times, and I was just trying to be tricky and stuff at the end of it, and it was obviously working for me, despite the first half being what I thought was kind of close. We were both creating opportunities and stuff, but yeah, we definitely come away victors here. Iñaki Williams was just a little bit too much to handle, but GG's, bro. Appreciate the game, and yeah, sorry for sticking 8 past you. At least it wasn't 8-2, right? Because then I'd be able to make that joke. Anyway, so that brings us up to 10 wins. We're at 10 win Jones right now. 10 and 4, I think. 10 and 4. We come up against Neymar, Mbappe, Ansu Fati. That's just a really meta team. Lots of great players in there. Martial as well. I give a penalty away after 17 minutes. I think I just missed like a golden opportunity at the other end, and they counted. And I gave her a sloppy penalty away. Neymar scores it. And to be honest, I couldn't really deal with Neymar and Mbappe. When I went into the match, I was like kind of expecting to get absolutely annihilated. And, well, I mean, if I'd have stayed in this game much longer, I'm sure it would have been probably an 8-0 for my opponent. But at 3-0 down, 42 minutes on the clock, I'm like, yeah, all right, mate. GG's. You have a better team than me, and, well, you're clearly a better player as well. So I'll move on about my day and take that L. So we do that. We move on to the next one, and now I match against this. And I'm like, that's a nice team. I'd actually really love to have that Witzel. I completely forgot when he was going to expire, and the fact that we've got this sort of like Bundesliga thing going on in our squad, I think he'd be an insane box-to-box midfielder in that 4-1-2-1-2. So we definitely missed out on him, but hey, he was an expensive card as well, so we can't do every player SBC, can we? Now, we end up getting the equalizer after my opponent took the lead. He knocks it down the wing here, and look at this ball in from Alphonso Davies. That's just great. And Griezmann, I mean, that's a near-perfect header. What can you say? It was just a good goal. But, yeah, I mean, like, I get really lucky with the way that somehow I sort of warp through, I think, Mukiele, and I get a goal to make it 2-2 at half-time. So we didn't really know which way this game was going to go, but my opponent, I felt like, was having a better game than me. Can I push forward and get a lucky victory, though? Well, in the second half, I play it through to Iñaki Williams, making it 3-2 after 68 minutes. And then in the 80th minute, he gets through a Ben Yedder. And I'm like, damn it. Ben Yedder's so difficult to handle, you know. Like, his stats this year, he's not, like, super pacey or anything. But his attack positioning and the way he dribbles and moves with the ball, I can't keep up with him. He's just insane. Anyway, I make some subs. We've got Memphis Depay, we've got Eden Hazard. And look at that for a ball in from the Dutchman. Like, what? I pressed an L1 cross. So it was like really high and floated, but I can't believe a defender didn't mark him. And I was able to take a free volley in the 6-yard box. Doesn't matter though, because 109 minutes on the clock, my opponent's gone ahead and equalised. So we go to penalties. Oh dear. Right, I step up, score my first one. He steps up. Lasty saves. Advantage Lasty right off the get-go. Perfect way to start. It's good for motivation. But he was still baiting me with his goalkeeper. And I end up greening it. But I still hit it wide because I just aimed it wide. It was as simple as that. Fortunately, though, we are able to keep our lead by saving penalty number 2. I then step up with Hazard and just go down the middle again. Let's keep it safe, shall we? Unfortunately, I score it. St. Max steps up, and I get a legs to it there with Manuel Neuer. So I've saved all 3 of his penalties so far, meaning that if Frankie de Jong steps up, scores the goal, we're going to walk away victorious in this game. So I bluff him left to right, hit it green, it still goes in, and we are able to come away with the win. Things you love to see. Now, looking back on that game, I think in the end, after the second half and extra time and stuff, I think I just about deserved the win. But yeah, that was a tough old match. So GG's to that guy. I hate going all the way to penalties, man. It is stressful. It really is. And knowing that I had more games than I would normally play in a row to have to do today, I don't want the long games. I want a couple quick rage quits, you know. This was a 2.5 or 3 hour session to get 5 wins, all right? And that's how long it took. And normally a game is like 15 minutes, right? So you could get 5 wins in an hour and a quarter, which shows you just how difficult I must have found this little session. But the next game, we went 2-0 up kind of like instantly. But I let it slip, you know. And literally just before half-time, he scored a second, and we're level. And I'm like, well, where did that come from then? I thought I was doing all right. I thought I was going to be bossing this game. I was hoping for and expecting a rage quit when I'd gone 2-0 up, but it didn't happen. And into the second half we go, level pegging again. I've been bringing on Eden Hazard because I've struggled against him a couple of times, and I realised that in the formation that we're in right now, he's like an insane central cam, and I need to be using him a lot more. I mean, and he does work when he comes on. So sometimes I've been bringing Ansu Fati off. Sometimes I've been bringing Iñaki Williams off. Sometimes Ousmane Dembele. Like, I've just been changing it up because I have to say in this little session, it was probably the worst that Dembele's played for me. Despite me absolutely loving him, I think I got most of the joy with Ansu Fati, Iñaki Williams, and then Eden Hazard. Those 3 players especially. So, yeah, it was just something I noticed. Maybe the latter stages of games when they're really difficult, someone like Ousmane Dembele with some of the stats that he's got, maybe his shooting isn't as great as someone with like 80, 90 finishing that like Eden Hazard has probably got and Ansu Fati's definitely got and stuff. So, yeah, it's just something that I noticed. So I brought him off a couple of times. We get a little victory and we move on into the next game. And this was against a fairly sturdy looking Prem team. I don't know if I touched the ball in the first 10 minutes, if I'm honest. Like, I remember looking at the possession stats after a little while in the first half, and it was like 75% or 78% to my opponent. Like, that's how much he was on the ball and how little I had of it. So, yeah, obviously just couldn't get the ball off this guy. I think he was just a better player than me. And at 3-0 after 32 minutes, you know where I'm headed. Straight for the door. Get me to the exit. I'm out of there. We'll move on to the next game. For those of you that commented last week about maybe me trying to not quit my games, even though we get the rank points or the rivals points or whatever, don't quit the games because it doesn't affect your elo or whatever, or you don't go down so you don't get the easier opponents. I mean, all I've got to do is really follow what EA have said last year, and apparently it does. You know, I don't know what to believe, but apparently if you quit a game, then yeah, you do lose your elo, and it should be affecting your like plus and minus like form. So, you know, as far as I'm aware, I think it does work. But, you know, the teams that we keep coming up against do seem to get crazier and crazier. So, does it work? I have no idea. I don't know what to think anymore. But anyway, we go 1-0 up in this game right here. And it's against a strong squad. So, if I could get a couple of goals in the lead, that would definitely do my confidence and motivation a world of good. Because this guy dribbled really well with it on the ball. Like, he had Rashford in form, he had inform Zaha. They were 2 players which I don't know, they completely baffled me. Because they can switch and change direction with their agility and like skill moves and stuff so very well. But so can Iñaki Williams, you know, with his boosted dribbling and stuff. He is really good. So I sort of faked my opponent to go one way and then drop the shoulder and turn the other way, which gave me a non-blockable opportunity to score a goal. Excuse me, and to go 3-1 up. So, into the second half, he ends up getting through here with Wilfried Zaha, knocking it to Rashford, making it 3-2. That's annoying because now it's like squeaky bum time at the end of this game. You know, do I just try and hold out? Clearly there, we're able to score the goal. If not, we would have got a penalty. But yeah, it's not even done. You know, he runs down the other end even after I score there to restore my 2-goal lead and scores again with inform Rashford. So, like, luckily we did get that goal because otherwise it could have been an equalizer. But yeah, we beat Lil Killer Dan or I Killer Dan. GG's, bro. That was a tough old game, but it brings me to 13 wins. So I just want this next one to be the last one and it to be over with, you know. And I see yet another strong old squad. We've got Eden Hazard, Salah, Joe Gomez, Sergio Ramos, you know, a team that I'm definitely not going to be, you know, absolutely walking through. Bruno Fernandes knocks it to Salah. Salah's got a crazy left foot, of course, and he makes it 1-0. And it was just before half-time, so that's a real downer for me. And then just into the second half as well. Look at this. It's just poor. It's unfortunate for me. I'm not going to lie. I couldn't get a player near it, and pretty poor defending. It ended up going 2-0 down. But Hazard's on. He was onside as well, and he scores the goal. We get it back to 2-1. And then in the 85th minute, I'm literally throwing the kitchen sink at him at this point. I just want to get a goal. Frankie de Jong is the guy to make that happen. Now, this next part is controversial. What do you think to this? Is that a foul? Is that really a penalty? I genuinely thought I just took the ball and it was a good slide tackle. I don't know. We lost the game because of a last second of the game penalty that I gave away. Shocking. But when you look at the stats, I think maybe my opponent did deserve the win. So it was more like I was kind of shocked to concede that penalty, but at the same time, all right, we'll move on. We've got plenty of games. Just need that one more win. Come up against Joe Gomez and then Varane as well. But this guy wasn't the greatest of defenders. So I was able to go 1-0 up and walk through that defence, which is technically one of the best defences you can match at this point in time. But he wasn't amazing at controlling them, I have to admit. But it wasn't the easiest of games. I get through here and I do make it 3-0. And I'm like, 16 minutes, 3-0. Maybe I'll get a rage quit. Maybe things will be all right. However, you know, classic lasty moment here. Aubameyang knocks it through to Lucas. And he makes it 3-1. And I'm like, oh, God, is there a reason why he didn't quit? Is he secretly a good player and he was just bluffing me? I hope not. He makes it 3-2. And I'm like, oh, no, what's going on? Please just let this be my last game of the weekend league because, you know, it's been a long old time. I was literally sweating, I think, at the time because it was such a tough session. But anyway, second half comes around and I concede a third. I bottled a 3-goal lead. Oh, no. What have you done, Lasty? Anyway, we can push forward here to try and actually win this game. I get a penalty gifted to me. Jordi Alba wipes me out in the box. And I'm going to step up with Ansu Fati. Going to bluff him left and then hit it down the middle. And keeper went the opposite way anyway. So I think no matter what we did there, we were scoring a goal. And then right at the end, I think my opponent sort of gave up because I was definitely hoarding possession right at the very end just to ensure that I got the win. But yeah, like GG's, 5-3 in the end. I bottled a 3-goal lead and just about made it back as well. So 14 wins and we are done. Gold 3 OP. I wonder if it is. I guess we'll see on Thursday, won't we? But yeah, I mean, guys, that's been the 4-1-2-1-2 second variant weekend league. I've got to say I really enjoyed it. Like, I didn't struggle too badly with the defense. Like, in terms of last week, we still lost loads of games as well. So, I don't know. I think we did all right. I quite like this formation. I don't necessarily need to go and buy Varane back and stuff. I will make some adjustments for next week's team just because it's always fun to use something different. And I noticed that Marcos Llorente still hadn't like plummeted in price, so I thought I would sell him. I managed to list him for exactly the same price as I bought him, but don't forget that there is going to be probably about 13,000 coins worth of EA tax on that. So we're going to grab about 260k back for him, which is just a small loss. And for now, I can just put regular Llorente in there. And I don't know which player I would play at DM. Maybe he'd be all right there. But yeah, he was really good, by the way. I do recommend him. I just feel like his price is going to come down. So I definitely don't want to lose loads of coins on him. But we can keep Frankie for now, I think, just because it keeps this team in place. But like I said, there's always time and potential for me to make changes over the coming days. That is going to wrap things up for the episode, though, boys and girls. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. 5,000 likes is your target on this Monday. And subscribe as well to the channel if you're new. I thank you for that. You can also come and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links are down below. Come see what I get up to every single day. I mean, there's not much going on because we're about to go into lockdown again, but so be it, right? There's plenty to tweet all the time. Come follow me. Anyway, have a great day, guys. Stay as safe and healthy as you possibly can, and I will catch you tomorrow with another episode. Peace.